All right, in this video we got 4 steps as to how I lucid dream within a few days. No matter when it is in my life, no matter what is happening, I can get that state very quickly, just within a couple tries of the nighttime experience, right? So I'm going to provide this for you, given my experience with lucid dreaming. Now, I lucid dream very often, very, very often when I use these tools, when I provide the limitation for me and then break through the limitation for me by using these tools, right? Because that's what we do. Really, if we wanted to, we could probably just lucid dream. Could like pass out right now. Lucid dream, okay? But here's the thing. All right, now I'm sure you've heard this many times before, but I do have some unique things that are geared very personal to me. So here's the thing. Number 1, dream journal. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to be into this dream world. Now, some people may not be able to lucid dream very clearly because of your astrology. You might want to look that up. Some people are very grounded in physicality, in which they do not have that sense of dreaminess as much as other people. Now, for me, as a Pisces, I dream standing up in sober reality. I dream, I imaginate, I create in this dimension, in a totally different dimension at the same time. I really do live a dream life. And it's become even more increasingly dreamlike. So this is very easy to me again. But here's the thing. You must stay within this dream sense even when you're awake, because then when you get into the dream state, you allow yourself to much more clearly understand that it is a dream and to recognize different key features that usually occur in dreams, in your own dreams. You must think about this. You must acclimate yourself with what you dream, how you dream it, functionality of all of this, and understand dream state, because when you are in the dream state, it's much more easy to recognize, and then therefore you lucid dream more easily. Now, again, this only lasts, for me, I only have to do this for about 3 days, and then I end up, boop, lucid dream, I'm out, okay, hey, what's up, type of thing, right? Now, number 2, this is very huge for me in recent times because I've realized the God within myself to be able to produce very strong reactions to my own vocals, to the God within, expressing the God without, with outside of me, so to speak, right? So what I do before I go to sleep is say mantras. Now, mantras basically, in a simple sense, are just things that you speak through vocals to induce more clarity of whatever it may be. Now, for lucid dreaming, or for astral projection, you can do this too, but for lucid dreaming, what I do is I recognize one thing. I always say this is the most common phrase that I say, and it is that circumstances don't matter, and that only state of being matters. Now, this removes a lot of the limitation that I provide myself with. It removes a lot of the barriers that I see for myself, and then, again, they're dissolved with that understanding that circumstances themselves really don't matter, and that the ultimate creator within yourself, the true state, the being that you are, is the only thing that matters, the state of being, so to speak, right? So another thing that I say is, very simply, and you have to understand that this is very powerful, tell yourself, I'm going to be dreaming. I'm going to be dreaming, and I'm going to realize that it's a dream. I'm going to be experiencing something that's abnormal, and I'm going to realize that it's abnormal. This may not work for you, but say something to recognize that you are going to be in a different state in a few moments of your existence, right? You're going to sleep. Now, obviously, this is a prelude to sleep. So you're probably going to be laying down and saying these mantras, right? Figure out what works best for you. Mantras definitely help. Speaking of your own God within to then hear your own God is very powerful. So number 3, again, this is geared for me, but it may help for you too. Diet it used to be very important for me, and it goes beyond just what you eat. Obviously, you don't want toxic food. Obviously, you might want a higher alkaline diet, so avoid acidic foods. But also, don't eat before bed. Don't eat before bed. Now, there's a lot of spiritual relationship to fasting, intermediate fasting, just not eating as much in general. you seem to have higher energy levels, higher ability to focus on that dream state in which we are trying to induce here. So I recommend that multiple hours before sleep you don't eat. 3 hours, for sure an hour before you go to bed, don't eat, okay? Or if you are thinking about eating right before bed, don't do it. You're not going to have as much success if that limitation is within you. Now, if you want, you can eat right before bed and it might work for you, whatever. That's a limitation that you don't have. But if you have the limitation that food affects you, right? Again, circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. If those circumstances don't matter to you, then cool. That's actually probably a better thing. But if diet does matter to you, don't eat before bed. Now, number 4. This one honestly hasn't been working for me that much, but many people talk about this, and it does help. Now, when it has worked for me, it has been when I've done this very intentfully. And again, this goes back with mantras. You have to have a certain intention with this too. You have to really believe yourself, and that is what intention really is. It's a belief that is set within you to then experience what you're going to experience. So the 4th one, and the final advice that I have, is to wake yourself up mid-sleep. Put out an alarm if you wish, or if you wake up in the morning, go back to sleep, if you can, right? And also, you have to recognize when you dream the most. For me, I dream the most towards the latter part of my sleep cycle. In the mornings, after about 8 hours of sleep, when I get 8 hours to 11 hours, those last 3 hours literally are jam-packed with dreams constantly. I don't know how it works, because supposedly we just have REM sleep for about 30 minutes out of the 4 to 5 hour cycle that we provide ourselves with. But sometimes, and actually most of the time, it seems like 4 hours of the 4 hour cycle I'm dreaming, especially in that last third cycle that I sometimes experience, which has been happening to me the last couple days, super clear dreams. So what some people recommend is you wake up in between your sleep cycles. Personally, I don't think there's really a preference here. You might actually want to wake up in the middle of your REM sleep if that occurs later in your cycle. So maybe after 6 hours, 1.5 cycles. If it goes by that 4 hour cycle, you really have to adjust to yourself here. Wake up when you're dreaming or when you feel you can dream. Again, geared based on your own experience. And stay up for a little bit. Don't just go right back to sleep because you're going to fall right back in the same pattern. Recognize that you are awake within this reality, within the physical reality. And make clear again the mantras that you've said before, the beliefs that you have, the intuition that you have. Express it within yourself. Be awake for what's recommended, 20 minutes to 40 minutes, whatever. Something that gets you past just the, oh, I'm awake, back to sleep, right? Get past that state and recognize that the lucidity within physical reality can be just as lucid in the dream state. And that is when you're okay to go back to sleep. And there is an increased effect. There is, in my experience, a higher percentage of time in which I've been able to lucid dream after that wakeful period. But for me, the main thing is dream journaling. When I write it down, you have to get up. You have to get up right when you wake up. Even if it's in the middle of your sleep cycle, even if it doesn't agree with your intuition as if you're supposed to stay asleep for 12 hours, whatever it is, dream journaling for me has been the biggest factor. And if I don't get up right when I wake up, right when it's fresh in my mind, it begins to fade away. Each moment passing, details fade away. And the point of dream journaling is to get those really, really, really fine details, even if it's random. Even if it makes no sense, just write it down. Even if your handwriting is terrible when you're half asleep in the morning at 4:30 a.m., right? You have to stay committed to it. Now, this is more speaking to myself. I don't really want a lucid dream because I kind of let the flow happen in dreams. I enjoy having experiences that are out of my control. But when I want a lucid dream, I have to do it. I have to get up. I have to write it down. I really have to focus on every single detail and wake up when I remember these things. Because if I wait past that next sleep cycle, the first sleep cycle is already done. I don't remember anything about that. And it's all just the second sleep cycle dreams that I can write down. So you really need to get yourself to write down everything when you can. And there's an interesting thing too about that. I just want to kind of go on and rant a little bit. When I'm in my dreams, it seems like there's a feeling that, oh gosh, I'm dreaming. I need to remember these dreams when I'm awake. And it's funny because there's a There's a discontinuity. I recognize that I'm dreaming, so I have to remember it. But at the same time, sometimes I don't recognize that I'm dreaming, so I get lucid. I don't wake up in the dream. I wake up in reality to write it down. It's kind of interesting. So I think that's why dream journaling helps, probably, is because it gets you into the physical reality to realize, wait a second, I was realizing that I had a dream there. Why didn't I just go into the, you know? So 4 tips. Bam, that video was longer than I expected. I just wanted it to be like a 5-minute video. But whatever. What has to be said is said.